There is a moment you have probably experienced many times, even if you rarely talk about it. A younger woman glances at you, not for very long, not in a dramatic or obvious way, just enough for you to notice. Then comes a small smile. In that instant, something shifts inside you, but almost immediately you push the feeling aside. You convince yourself she was only being friendly, that it meant absolutely nothing, that she probably smiles at everyone the same way. And just like that, the moment disappears quietly into the background. Most men ignore moments like these for one simple reason. Over time, they stopped trusting their own perception. That doubt did not appear overnight. It was built slowly through years of subtle messages telling you that attraction fades as a man gets older. That admiration belongs to youth. That if a younger woman notices you, it must be coincidence, politeness, or something meaningless. Eventually, without even realizing it, you trained yourself to dismiss signals before they fully register in your mind. But here is something most men are never told clearly. That smile was probably not random. It was not meaningless, and it did not need to be dramatic to matter. Men who understand human behavior notice something important. Real attraction almost never announces itself loudly. Most of the time, it reveals itself quietly, and then waits. It waits to see who is aware enough to notice it without forcing it. The men who miss these moments are not foolish or weak. They simply never learn to see the deeper picture behind them. So let us slow everything down for a moment and look at what is actually happening. When a younger woman smiles at you, your first instinct is often to minimize it. You assume attraction must involve effort, performance, or some kind of display. You think a man has to impress, entertain, or prove himself to create interest. That is how many younger men approach the world. They constantly seek validation, constantly trying to stand out. But what many older men fail to realize is this: what you stopped doing is often exactly what gets noticed now. You are no longer desperately trying to prove your worth. You are not constantly checking whether people approve of you. You are not adjusting your personality every few seconds just to fit into a room. You have become more settled, more grounded, more comfortable inside your own presence. And that is where something powerful begins. True confidence is rarely loud. It does not need to announce itself. People feel it before they can explain it. It shows in the way you stand, the way you move, the way you remain calm without rushing to fill every silence. That quiet steadiness communicates more than words ever could. So when a younger woman smiles at you in an ordinary place, maybe a coffee shop, a hallway, a grocery store, or even while passing by, it often happens naturally and instinctively. Her mind did not sit down and calculate the moment. Her body responded before her thoughts had time to catch up. The smile appeared automatically, almost like a reflex. And this is the part many explanations completely miss. People often repeat the phrase, "Confidence is attractive," but they rarely explain what that truly means. What she is responding to is not arrogance, performance, or dominance. It is something much deeper and calmer than that. It is emotional steadiness. It is quiet control. It is the feeling of being around someone who no longer needs to fight for approval. Men who stop chasing validation carry a very different kind of energy. Not aggressive, not overwhelming, just grounded. It creates the feeling that nothing needs to be forced or proven. And in a world filled with noise, insecurity, and constant performance, that calm energy becomes surprisingly noticeable. Younger men are often still searching for themselves. They react quickly. They overthink everything. They constantly monitor how others perceive them. But you are no longer trapped in that cycle the same way you once were, and that difference creates contrast. That contrast is what catches her attention. The smile becomes her natural response to something she may not even fully understand herself yet. It is subtle, quiet, and easy to overlook, but it is real. But attraction is not the only reason behind that smile. There is another layer that many men never consider. A younger woman may smile because your presence feels emotionally safe. Not dramatic safety, not exaggerated comfort, just a quiet sense of ease. You're not trying to dominate the interaction. You're not pushing the moment in a certain direction. You're not trying to win her attention. That absence of pressure creates emotional space around you, and emotional space allows people to relax naturally. In those brief moments, she does not feel judged. She does not feel like she needs to impress you or perform for your approval. She can simply exist comfortably within the interaction, and that feeling has become rare for many people today. Sometimes the smile is simply a response to that ease. Now here is where many men misunderstand everything. They assume the smile must either mean attraction or simple politeness. But very often, it exists somewhere in between those two extremes. Sometimes it is a silent curiosity, a quiet question without words. She may be wondering who you really are beneath the calm exterior. She notices your composure and begins trying to understand it internally. Are you truly as confident as you appear? Are you genuinely calm, or are you pretending? That curiosity happens automatically beneath the surface, and this is where most moments either continue or disappear. If you react with panic, insecurity, or immediate self-doubt, the connection closes before it has the chance to develop naturally. Not because you failed, but because the moment was interrupted before it could breathe. Men who chase tend to react too quickly. Men who understand simply allow the moment to exist. They do not force it. They do not rush it. They notice it calmly without turning it into something bigger than it needs to be. And beneath all of this is perhaps the deepest reason of all. That smile is often about recognition. Not recognition of your age, not recognition of your appearance, not recognition of your money or status. It is recognition of something internal, a sense that you are settled within yourself, a feeling that you are no longer desperately searching for identity or trying to become someone else. You have already lived enough life to know who you are. That inner certainty changes the way people experience your presence, even if they cannot explain it logically. And many older men never realize this transformation has already happened inside them. You still remember a time when attention felt like something you had to earn, when being noticed required effort, performance, or endless proving. So now, when attention arrives naturally and quietly, your first instinct is to distrust it. You question it. You dismiss it. You convince yourself it cannot possibly mean anything. But that reaction is not wisdom or humility. It is simply an old belief that no longer reflects the man you have become.